Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Alyssa, and it's been a while since we've been here, since we've chatted. It's been a while. Now, if you guys watch our Attack on Titan videos, you'll know me, Sarah, and Juanita all got jobs. So that's been keeping us kind of a little hectic and crazy and busy because we all have very different schedules. And the problem with that is we can't all get together and film stuff all the time. But we still want to be able to get content out to you guys. So, well, we might not all be together sometimes. You're still going to try get at least one of us trying to give you some content and talk about our favorite shows. Because that's what we all love here, right? So, it's the Riverdale Season 2 premiere. And right now, I am very excited to see what's going to happen. Last season we left off, Fred had just been shot. And with that came a whole slew of new trouble for Riverdale. After we had solved the mystery of who killed Jason. Spoiler alert, it's his dad if you haven't watched that. I don't know what you're doing here, but hi. Good to see you. Welcome. What else is going on last season? It's been a little while. But Jughead's going to a new school. Veronica's dad is supposed to show up. I'm ready for more Consuelos. Are you guys ready? Let me know down below. I'm very excited. So, I can't think off the top of my head anything else from last season, but it will literally all come rushing back when I'm watching. And what I'm doing for you guys today is not a reaction. It will be partly, though, because one of my friends that watches this show recommended I at least watch the last 2 minutes of it, because apparently some crazy shit happens, and, I don't know what the fuck it is, but I want to see it. So, we'll have a little bit of reaction for you guys in here, but otherwise this is going to be a review. And, you know, the reviews are some of our biggest portions of our reaction videos when we typically do them, so this should be an interesting thing. So, I won't keep waiting. I'm pretty excited to get into the episode, actually, and I'll see you guys at the end. So, let's get into it. Okay, we're back at the trailer park. Alright. Oh boy, this...
What the hell, guys? What is this?
Well, not like you asked. This guy was holding court at the White Worm. Talking about how Freddie Andrews was going to let Hiram Lodge's bitch run the show.
Oh boy.
If screwed, then it's good. He was gut shot.
So we thought we might press him a bit, see if it was all just talk.
This is too deep, Jug.
After a lengthy cross-examination, we concluded he was just being allowed.
What did you bring him here for? If he didn't even do anything.
So you could see we've done what you asked. Leave
Oh,
it to your old
shoot.
man. It's important to us. With or without the jacket, you're a serpent.
Oh boy. They're just pulling him in and he does not deserve this. Is Daddy Lodge gonna be here? I'm ready for some more Consuelos. Yes!
I came home early to surprise you.
I'm very excited.
Imagine my surprise when you weren't here to greet me.
And she drank your crystal.
So disrespectful.
What the hell is this
Not like
cult?
you at all, Mia.
What the hell is this?
You have no idea. The question is, have you?
Not so much that I still don't want to kiss hello for my daughter.
So you wanna start a war in the age of icon.
This is... He's too good looking. This is not fair, because we're supposed to hate him.
By the way, in case either of you were wondering, Mr. Andrews woke up. He's going to make it.
I mean, I do think they had something to do with
No
it.
about that.
The wine glass. They're so dramatic. They're like as dramatic as the Blossoms, I swear.
Once Mrs. Andrews got to town,
Yes, more Molly Ringwald.
and Mr. Andrews was back at home recovering in his own bed, Archie's true vigil began.
Something else happened at Pop's, didn't it?
He made a promise, a vow, to protect his father from harm.
Oh,
And as long as the man in the
what?
black hood was out there in the night, Archie intended to keep that promise.
Okay, Archie's stepping up this season. I'm proud of him. They also picked very good music for
Never
this scene.
imagining that the angel of death was stalking different streets tonight in a small town. in
That's
Greenwood,
fucking Grundy's
on the
car.
other side of Sweetwater.
She literally went one town over. This bitch.
How's that, Miss Grundy?
Very good.
She has a damn type, and this is not okay.
You come by tomorrow then.
Absolutely.
I knew she was a predator whore. Why'd we bring this bitch back? Like, it's not okay to be with teenage boys when you're a, like, almost 30-year-old woman. It's bad that I'm laughing at this, but, like, she's getting what she deserves, so I'm kind of not mad about it. So, like, you did good, Riverdale. You did good. I don't know. Okay, now that I saw that trailer for next week, too, I don't know what this person has specifically against Archie or the Andrews. And we got a long road to go, because this is, like, a 22-episode season, I heard. So we're in for a wild ride, guys. I thought, first off, it was a very strong start to the season right here, setting everything up again. Not as cluttered as the very first episode last season, the, like, series premiere. It definitely was a little more streamlined, but there were still all those threads there and picking up where we left off at the end of last season. Now, the fact that this could be someone specifically targeting Archie is an interesting concept to me, because I'm wondering what he would have done to make someone want to go after people he likes or that are important to him, and why they would do that, or if it's just coincidence, perhaps, and it's this guy is just a, you know, he's like the muscle, he's like doing the work, but someone else is the brain calling the shots. That could be interesting as well. There was a lot of interesting stuff brought up this episode, and now I think we'll go through and we'll start from the beginning and we can work our way through everything. So we start off, Jughead's narrating again, which great. I think he's just very strong as the kind of author of this story, kind of weaving it all through, and I still really enjoy that they do that. That scene at the beginning with Archie driving the car, very powerful. I enjoyed that a lot. The fact that he hadn't even gotten his license yet and he's like driving, and it was just really great to see that, and you're kind of wondering what exactly happened at Pop's after that gunshot went off. And they did pay that off later, and we'll get into that soon. But that hospital, I need to comment on this. It looks like they're dressed like doctors and nurses in the Navy in the 40s, if that makes any sense. Like, are there actually hospitals where people dress like this? Because if so, I do not know them. But I really did like the doctor. I thought he was kind of cool. Maybe he'll show up again. I don't know. His minor part. I thought it was very nice that everyone came in to support Archie. Of course, in between that, though, and to get there, we have the scene of Alice and Betty. And I still love Alice. I do, personally. I think there's just something so great about her character that I can't hate her, no matter what she says or does, because I feel like genuinely she's just looking out for her child's best interest in a way. And an overprotective way, a kind of not always fair way, but definitely her and Betty have a very interesting relationship, to say the least. They're both very honest with each other, but there's like this weird kind of tension and dynamic there that's also interesting, because the fact that Betty even told her she went home with Jughead I found interesting, because most people would not be like, oh hey mom, I stayed over my boyfriend's house last night, or almost most of the night. Most teenagers probably wouldn't say that, as much as I'm thinking. So the fact that she told her mom like everything about that was very interesting. And Alice's reaction was very typical Alice. Block him. It's Archie. Block him too. I just really find their dynamic interesting. I also have to mention the fact that Jughead is dramatic as hell for no reason. Going into that motorcycle, just it was a lot, but I also loved it. That's kind of why I love Riverdale in general, is that it's a grounded drama in a way, but there's also like these just kind of silly fun things that might be really small, but they still happen, and it just makes the show just so enjoyable to watch. That's the big thing about Riverdale for me. It's just really a fun show to watch in general, and you kind of always want to know what happens next. So we also get Veronica waking up, and she's at home. She's still Little Miss Rebel right now. She's not happy with her mom. I am not either. Like, Hermione, I thought you were the best mom at the beginning last season, and now you're the devil. No, I'm sorry. She's the devil's wife. There we go. That's a better thing for that. But also Veronica, Crystal. It's definitely extra, and they're kind of having a mini war too. The thing I find very interesting about the season is that they seem to be setting up a lot of kids versus their parents this season again, but now it's kind of the kids gaining power or trying to take it for themselves, and you know, part of growing up and being adults and stuff like that. And I'll talk about that a little more with Cheryl specifically, because it was very obvious there. So once everyone gets the cold, they all head to the hospital, and I really liked seeing the core four just being there together, and Betty, Veronica, and Jughead all really being there for Archie, because he's their friend first and foremost, and they all love him and like love Fred too, and they just want him to be okay. And I think definitely a highlight of this episode was the interactions between Veronica and Archie. Now, last season I liked their relationship like at the end, but like I wasn't so sold on it that I was like, this is the best, I love this ship. Whatever, I was just like, oh, okay, I can see it, I understand it. I think this episode definitely gave them some much needed, I don't want to say development, but like it definitely showed us why they're good for each other a little bit more, and let us delve into that more. Veronica was so there for him, and when he tried to toss her out, I loved that she stood her ground, and you can definitely see the change in Veronica and how she's trying to still just be a better person, but her parents want to sink her back into being like their good, perfect daughter, who was the Ice Queen back in New York City. And I just think it's very interesting how she's trying to present herself with everyone else, and then also her warring dynamic going on with her parents going on right now. So all the parents go there as well. Alice and Jughead. Alice is just biting, and Jughead's just like, really? Really? You gotta go after me now that my dad's like, you're already putting my dad in jail basically, now it's all my fault? Which I don't think is fair to put all this stuff on a teenage boy. To put all this stuff on any of these teenagers is kind of really screwed up. But that's like life here. So I find this really interesting, especially because, you know, things changed since last season. There were a couple of deleted scenes of things that were supposed to happen, but they changed because they found out they were getting a second season, and if they didn't get that second season, they were going to try and make it feel more complete with these extra scenes, like the Coopers were going to take in Jughead. That was one of the things that was going to happen They didn't get a season 2, but they did, and now we're dealing with that whole thing, so I think it's very interesting, Alice's resistance to him, and I'd like to see that kind of be overcome a bit, especially because I enjoy Betty and Jughead's relationship. I think they understand each other a lot. I think, just in, like, a similar way to, like, Archie and Veronica, they get each other in a way that maybe other people won't. So I think it's very, very interesting. So then we have the scene with Kevin and Betty happens, and, you know, it's just going through, once again, what happened at the end of last season is that they told each other they love each other, and then Jughead puts on that serpent jacket. And now we all know Jughead looked good in that jacket, alright? No one's disputing that. But Kevin, I don't want to say is fully wrong, because the serpents are dangerous. And we especially see that at the end of the episode with Jughead when he goes back to his father's trailer. Once again, we'll get to that at the end. But I liked each side kind of getting their, like, moments to talk and stuff like that. I like Pop Tate actually getting more lines and, like, seeing him be more involved in everything in the season. I feel like Fred's wallet's going to come into play a lot more. There's obviously something in that wallet. Why else would they take his wallet? Besides just his personal information, I feel like there's something specifically in there. Now, what that is will probably be revealed to us sometime throughout the season, but I'm glad Fred is awake, as we'll find out. I really found the kind of, let's say, dream sequences, because that's the best way to kind of put him here. I found them very interesting. I thought they gave, like, very good insight into, like, how Fred's thinking the future might go. It probably won't be that peachy keen. I adored the wedding scene, because the bagpipes are playing and they're wearing kilt, and it's so extra. And just, that's what I love about Riverdale. It's part of just what I love about it so much. So Betty and Jughead go to Pop's, and they're trying to, you know, find the wallet, and then they end up talking to Pop Tate about stuff and like that. And I think Jughead's right, that it's more than just a robbery gone wrong with the shooting, because they didn't even take any money. And now if you're going in a place with a gun to ask me about the register, you're going to take the money. You wouldn't leave it there. That's, like, that makes no sense. So just taking Fred's wallet, there's obviously something more devious going on. There's obviously something more going on that they'll reveal to us throughout the season. I'm excited to figure out this mystery. I feel like everyone really stepped up this episode. Just everyone around town, all their friends. I just thought everyone went a step above. Archie was going a step above for his dad. Veronica was going a step above for Archie. There was a little bit of conflict with Betty and Jughead, especially because of what happened with the serpents. And we all know, especially if you keep up on anything, I didn't keep up too much with, like, when they're doing interviews for the next season, but I did definitely hear that they're not in for an easy road this season. Now, during the scene in Pops, I was a little confused by Betty's reaction, because I can understand where she's coming from saying the serpents are dangerous, because we know more than ever that they're dangerous. You know, with everything with the drugs, and they basically kidnapped Jason for his dad. So there's, like, a lot of deep, dark stuff going on there. But they still protect their own as the whole thing, and just because they're on the south side doesn't necessarily mean they're a serpent. And that's why that assumption bothered me, especially because Betty, only like a week prior, before FP, we solved, like, the mystery, was defending FP and defending people on the south side. And I feel like it was just a little weird to have her turn around so fast, but I guess it's also because Jughead wasn't involved with that before. He wasn't into that side. He was just kind of living with that around him. So the fact that she's concerned, I wholly understand. I just want her to be a little more accepting, and she definitely was at the end. She was saying, you know, I support you. You have to figure out what's going on here. And you need time to grow and stuff like that, and I support you. And I thought that was really great to see. Jughead was also just on point this episode. Just this entire episode, he was just on point. It was kind of weird seeing him so light. Not weird, but it was good to see a little bit of an easier going side to him, but, like, it's not gonna last. According to some of the last scenes, based on, like, what we saw in a couple of these last scenes, to me, it's just, I don't think it's gonna last, but there's always that, like, sardonic humor that Jughead has that's just so great to watch through. Like, when Pop-Tate is just like, it was like the angel of death had descended upon Riverdale. He's just like, lighten up, dude. Lighten up. I mean, we all want to lighten up. I agree. So then let's talk about Cheryl right now. Cheryl is seizing power for herself, and it's a little insane. I go back and forth on Cheryl too. Like, I love her, but then she also does such crazy stuff that I'm like, oh my god, girl. Calm down. Just a tad. Just a tad. So, just, her mom's gonna have the 3rd-degree burns anyway, but I feel like she went a little, she did certainly go a little Baby Jane at the end there. But you are, Blanche, you are in that chair. So it's interesting to see how her dynamic with her mom is going to change throughout this season, because her mom was a giant, horrible, horrible person to her. My one concern is Nana Rose okay? Is Nana Rose okay? Because was she in the house? She's probably at a nursing home, let's be honest. But I hope Nana Rose is okay. The scene with Kevin, Betty, and Cheryl where Kevin's just like, is this the apocalypse? Also really great. I think everyone was very strong this episode. The new Reggie was here. He had one line. Can't really tell how that's going to go so far, but, like, he's cute. He's cute. I really enjoyed how everyone was there for Archie, and they came to the hospital to support him. Even the coach was there. That was really great. So, definitely you see the kids trying to compete with their parents in a way for who's controlling what's going on in their household. Veronica obviously had the scene with her mother in the church. And her mother is, I thought it very interesting that she accused her mother of being the one to hire Fred. And I do think it's possible, but because they laid it out so early, it's most likely not going to be that. But I do think they were happy about that, and they might have had some kind of hand in what's going on, because they're definitely looking out for themselves above anyone else. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Cheryl's obviously taking control from her mother because her mother has 3rd-degree burns and is literally in the hospital, and Cheryl's the one that has to care for her. I did think it was sweet that Cheryl was like, I'm repaying the favor, you gave me the kiss of life and I'm giving it back to your dad. I was a little concerned at first, but I feel like it worked out pretty well. I feel like Cheryl and Archie have a very weird relationship as well, because she was interested in being with him, but also I just see them as being two kind of weird good friends. Excuse me. So it's very interesting how it's all going to play out. Now let's talk about that last scene that you just saw my reaction for before. I thought it was a very interesting choice to bring back Grundy, and I do appreciate the fact that they went balls to the wall with the fact that she is actually just a horrible, horrible person who is going after teenage boys as a grown woman, and that's incredibly wrong. And I'm so glad they brought her back to just kill her right after. I know most of, like, no one likes Grundy, right? No one likes Grundy. If you like Grundy, I would be very, very confused. So, the fact that she was continuing with her patterns of being an abuser with more kids in this town over, I can't say I'm sad someone put a stop to her abusing teenage boys and giving them lifelong trauma that they'll have to deal with. So it was satisfying seeing her being choked with the bow that Archie gave her. So that's really interesting because based on the show for next week, there's thinking that it's this person is going after people Archie cares about. And I can't wait to see how this all plays out. So I really think they did a good job with this episode. I'm glad to see that it didn't really change and the quality is still there with Riverdale, because sometimes with the sophomore year, especially the sophomore season of shows, especially because they're coming back and sometimes shows just get so popular and they started out as such like a small thing and it was very unexpected for them to become as popular, because you never want to assume your show's going to be the next big thing, because if it's not, then you're kind of like screwed. So sometimes when they come back for a second season, it doesn't keep the quality there. Sometimes the writing changes, or if they change staff members, things change, or because it's popular, they're trying to live up to this hype. But I feel like, based off this first episode, Riverdale's keeping strong. Hashtag Riverdale strong. Gotta throw that in. Except, no CoverGirl commercials. So that'll be interesting. I think Macy's is their big sponsor now, so we'll see how that goes. But I really enjoyed this episode personally. I'm excited to see what's gonna go on. I feel like we're gonna, now that we've started this dark descent, we'll be able to get a little more of our fun moments back. It looks like next week's going to be a very fun episode. It seems like they're doing a lot of pops, like the Pussycats were performing on the, like, almost on the roof, it looked like, which is really cool. They're probably maybe trying to get people back to pops after, you know, the shooting happened and everything, and good press possibly is what I'm thinking. So I'm excited to see how it's going to go. I think it's going to be a really fun episode, hopefully, and get us reunited with some of our other favorite characters. So let me know what you guys thought of the episode down below in the comments. Let me know what you're excited to see this season. Let me know some of your predictions as well, because I'd love to read them. Thank you guys for watching. If you'd like, you can subscribe. We're going to try and be posting a lot more lately. Some of it will be more individual stuff. Attack on Titan Season 2 is coming. I'm going to keep doing Riverdale stuff. Let me know what you think about these changes. We're going to try and get together and do some stuff together when we can. But for now, we're just trying to give you guys some more content, because we love these shows and we know you love them too, and we want to just share in that experience. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week for more Riverdale. Peace.